music just feels so good. You're on to number one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, right about now on the line, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. No E, straight out the UK. What is going on, my brother?
How you doing, mate? You okay?
Good, good. Thanks for stopping in and chatting with us.
No, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Now, for the people who don't know Noe, where exactly are you calling from?
I'm calling from the UK, Wales, actually.
Okay.
A little town called Swansea.
Nice. Now, how long have you been in the game, DJing, producing-wise?
Right, well, producing-wise, about 2 years. DJing-wise, my first love is hip-hop. Always has been.
Okay.
I was a hip-hop DJ for about 15 years. And then I've always liked house music.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started producing is when I really got into house music.
So let me ask you this. Why not hip-hop? Why house?
A few different reasons. I think one, I can't sing and I can't rap.
I hear that.
So that's the first thing. And I enjoy making house music. And yeah, I think that's the main reason. I really enjoy it. If I could rap or if I could sing, then I might make hip hop. But you've got to really, you've got to link up with like a rapper or a singer or, yeah, that's the main reason really. It's just that I enjoy making house music.
Okay.
I enjoy making dance music.
I feel you on that spectrum because I was a hip hop DJ when I first started as well. So I know the transition is a little awkward at first. Can you feel? But
yeah.
Did it go smoothly for you when you started doing house?
It did. It did go quite smoothly. Yeah, it did. But I love sampling, and I think that comes from a hip hop background. I think.
Right.
So although I have done a few tracks lately where I haven't used samples, I think just to prove to myself that I could. But I'm happiest when I am sampling, when I'm sort of finding that little nugget of a sample and chopping it up, and
Now you would explain that your style is mainly like disco house, correct?
Yes, the tracks that I've released so far are, yeah. But I've also got another thing which is more house rather than disco house.
Okay.
So my next few releases are going to be more in that way, and then I'll always come back to the disco house thing.
Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Love the energy of the disco house that you've let out so far. What can you say is the appeal to the disco house? As opposed to say maybe a harder house or a tribal or trancey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think again it comes from like I said, I've always been sort of a hip hop R&B fan, and I like music with a bit of soul to it.
Okay.
And I love disco, so even my houseier stuff that I've done and that's coming out soon has still got it's still got a bit of soul to it. I'm not keen on the harder house. Don't get me wrong, it's great, but it's just not my thing.
Okay. Now,
it's just not my thing.
What made you decide to actually start producing?
It's something I toyed around with probably for 15 years, pretty much. Not long after I started DJ, and I bought a laptop. I think it was Reason 2 was out then. I think it was. I bought that, played it, and this was a time before YouTube. You couldn't sort of just jump onto YouTube, find a YouTube video telling you exactly how to do whatever it is you were trying to do. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't even get it to make a noise, let alone make any music. So it just sat on a shelf for ages, and then sort of the DJing, I was DJing so often that I didn't really have the time. But sort of a couple of years ago, I thought, right, I'm gonna park the DJing for a while and now give myself the time to concentrate on the producing.
Okay. Now, were there any specific DJs or producers that you kind of looked up to that kind of swerved your way into a certain style?
Yes, there is. There definitely is. There's a lot of people. There's people like Alex Virgo. I love the sort of stuff he does, which is again very Chicago-y, disco sampled house. And there's I don't know. Do you know Shadow Child out there?
Yes,
he's very big over here. Well,
very good.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Well, he's actually mentoring me. So
okay.
I hit him up not long after I started producing because, to be honest, I was looking around. I wasn't sure. I knew I wanted to produce. I wasn't sure what type of music I wanted to do. So I was just listening to loads and loads of things. And then I came across a couple of his older tracks, which I thought, oh yeah, I like this. And then I found that I sort of, after doing some digging, found that he'd done quite a few YouTube videos and stuff. So I watched all of those. And then I reached out to him on Instagram, and it was just, luckily enough, it's just the sort of the stars aligned, and it was just at the time when he was looking to do some mentoring. So that was about a year ago now.
So he basically taught you like all the ropes and so forth?
Yeah, the ropes. And obviously coming from sort of a hip-hop background, my knowledge of house music isn't brilliant. So, we have these mentor sessions, and then he could see the sort of sound I was trying to make. So he'd say, you should go and listen to this, give me some names, go listen to what this guy's doing, go listen to what this guy's doing.
Right.
Not to copy them, but just to, to see what is possible, or, just for me to help me find my sound as well, really.
I got you. Now,
which was priceless.
Now, your first release, what was the name of that one?
The first one was Disco High.
Okay, and what label did that come out on? How long ago?
That came out on All Night Long Records, which is Midnight City's label, who are they're a duo from Liverpool that are quite well known, and that came out just over a year ago, last July, I think it was.
Okay. Oh, so you did it during like the pandemic at the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, speaking of the pandemic, did that slow you down, or did that give you like more of an oomph to like say, let me push forward while we're all locked up right now?
Yeah, it pushed forward. It pushed forward really. So it gave me the time to be able to dedicate it to it really. Like I had myself and Shadow Child. We had a few conversations because I put a couple of songs out on his label as well.
Right.
Food music, and we've had a few conversations as to, I've got a couple of songs that are coming out now in October that we held on to for a bit because, he was like, you're better off hanging on to these until the clubs reopen and people can be playing them in the clubs.
Right. Oh, so you held back.
So we've held back on a couple.
Okay.
But I have also been releasing as well. As you know, steadily, really, every few months, I bring a song out. But
now, speaking of the pandemic, I know there's still a few states in America that are actually starting to reopen. Has the United Kingdom reopened at all in certain spots or everywhere?
Yeah, well, England opened up properly about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so they're doing it in sections.
Yeah, well, it's a bit like obviously the UK, but you've got Scotland, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and they, I suppose, are a bit like states for you. So right. Although they're governed by the UK government, they've also got their own governments that make certain decisions. So, England opened up about 3 weeks or a month ago. But Wales, where I live, we opened up last night.
Oh, really?
So there's no social distancing. There's no measures whatsoever now, apart from you've got to wear a mask on public transport and in shops, and that's it.
That's pretty much the same here. For the people who haven't gotten vaccinated, we still want to not take chances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So you've been in quarantine this whole time?
We've been in and out. We have,
Okay.
but we haven't opened up fully like we are now since the first lockdown.
Okay.
So this is the first time. This is the first time in like 16 months that everything is open properly with no social distancing.
Oh wow, okay. So are you getting back to the whole DJing aspect of it now?
Yeah, I have been asked. I'm trying. To be honest, I'm still concentrating on the producing a bit now, and then I'm going to see what happens with the next release, and then I'll probably get back out DJing again. Then I think.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Now, I looked on your social media and I see you have a beautiful wife, 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl.
Yeah.
What are their names?
My oldest boy is Jesse. My youngest son is Alfie, and my little girl is Isabella.
Okay. Being that you've been a DJ for so many years, are you the cool dad, or are they more like, come on, Dad, really?
I don't think they'd think I was cool. Well, actually, I know they don't think I'm cool because I play them my music all the time, and they're like, "Dad, it's got no words. I don't like it."
They'll never understand until they get older.
Yeah, that's it. They're into hip hop as well, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So I don't mind that.
Now, when you were DJing, do you ever recall like the best set you've ever had?
Oh, there's been so many. Yeah, I've had some.
Is there anyone that may stick out more than the rest?
I think, yeah, probably a New Year's Eve, a few years ago, because on a New Year's Eve, like on a normal night, we'd sort of start at about 10 p.m. and then you'd finish at about 4 p.m. So you do about 6 hours. Okay. But on a New Year's Eve, we'd start at like 4 p.m. in the afternoon and go right through. So you do a 12-hour set, basically.
Oh, wow.
And although, obviously, because there'll be during a 12-hour set, a long set like that, there were a few peaks. So there are certain songs you have to play more than once in a set. You might play them 2 or 3 times in the night. But then you can really, when you've got that much time, you can really play songs that you want to play that you probably couldn't play in a shorter set.
Okay.
So yeah, I think there's been a couple, but yeah, the New Year's Eve one really, yeah.
So is there any producers or DJs that you would like to collab with in the possible future?
Yeah, loads.
Give me like your top 3.
My top 3, right? Okay. Shadow Child, I'd love to do. Even though he mentors me, I'd love to do something with him as a collab, definitely. But then, I'd probably be. I'd love to get somebody to rap on a track. I think. Like Gangstar. I'd love Guru to come on something, or Big Daddy Kane. I love Big Daddy Kane.
That's actually that would actually be very hot, I would think.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm actually gonna go see him in November.
Oh, I'd love to go see Big Daddy Kane. That was the sound of my youth. That was.
Oh, brother, we're in the same ballpark here.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Loved him.
Now.
So, go on.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, where are you going to go see him?
There's actually a 80s and 90s nostalgia show in Kissimmee, Florida, where I'm from. I'm from Tampa, Florida. So it's around closer to the Orlando area, and it's going to be Big Daddy Kane, Tone Loc, Rob Bass, some freestyle acts like Brenda K. Starr and Giggles. You got Color Me Bad, Lizette Melendez. I mean, it's just an all-out. It's got to be an all-out crazy show.
Definitely sounds like my type of thing as well.
You know, I'm a little old school also, so I feel where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Now, in your time of, DJing and producing, you ever come to the States, or do you have plans to in the future?
I haven't as yet, but I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to. I've just signed, which I don't know if I can say or not, but I've just signed to a very big label, 3 tracks, and although the DJ that owns the label is from here, he lives in Miami.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd love to come out. I'd love to come out and do something.
Hey, if you're ever in Florida, the first plane is on me.
Definitely, we'll definitely do that.
Now, your music, where can it be found for the listeners who are listening in and they want to check out your sound? Where can they find your music?
They can. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on my SoundCloud. So yeah, all the main places. Beatport, Traxsource.
Now, give them your handle.
On Instagram, it's No E DJ Music on Instagram and on SoundCloud, I believe.
Okay, so that's where they can find you social media wise as well.
Yeah, and it's just No E on Spotify.
Awesome. Now, I believe since we're coming to the end of our interview, for any up-and-coming DJs or producers as well, what advice would you give to someone starting out in this kind of line of work?
Well, firstly, I would say, because obviously I haven't been doing it that long, so I've had quite a lot of good advice. So I would say, firstly, don't try and copy anyone. Like, there's nothing wrong with listening to other people, what they're doing, and picking bits. But try and find your own sound and something that you're really passionate about. I think that's the most important thing.
Right.
I would say. And then, like on a sort of a technical level, a bit of advice that I was given was always, because as a producer, you can get stuck in a little loop, whether it be an 8-bar loop or 16-bar loop, and you can't make it a full song. So I was told very early on, arrange that into a song straight away. Even if you're gonna change it tomorrow, it just means when you're coming back to it, it's a song and not a loop.
I hear that.
And that was a brilliant bit of advice. But the main thing I would say is definitely find your own sound.
Okay, awesome. Now, we're going to throw on one of your tracks right now. Tell the people which one we're going with.
We're going to go with Disco Chocolate.
Disco Chocolate just came out recently, correct?
Yeah, about 2.5 weeks ago.
And which label is that on?
That's on All Night Long Records as well, Midnight City's label. And it was actually Traxsource release of the day as well, a couple of weeks ago.
Very nice, impressive.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
thank you very much, Traxsource.
Noe, thank you so much for taking the time out to chill with us and just vibe out with us.
Thank you for the support.
Oh man,
it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for always hooking us up with bangers after banger after banger, and we're looking forward to definitely doing more with you in the future.
Brilliant. Yeah, I look forward to it. Thank you very much.
All right, brother. You take care.